We have our next match coming up very shortly. It's two teams that we've never really seen at all. I was looking at these rosters here. We have seen two of these players, time after time in Gingivitis and in Dragonox. The two teams going up against each other, Axe Black or AX Black, not sure how that one's pronounced, versus Ruling Pigeon. And Gingivitis and Dragonox, they're on that Ruling Pigeon squad. We've seen these two players a few times before in some CMGs, not just the 10Ks, but some other off CMG Road Company events as well. And we've only seen Dragonox on broadcast a few times. I don't think we've ever seen Gingivitis on the actual CMG broadcast. But let's go through and let's take a look at your keys to victory, Rome, for this week. Now that we've seen Cute Hamsters go down, now that we're seeing teams start to win rounds on the sides of maps that aren't as favored as we normally think, what are your new keys to victory for this week?
I feel like the keys to victory is just one key this week, the ability to adapt. We saw a lack of ability to adapt last week out of Cute Hamster in the grand finals. Mid-match, you got to be able to adapt with different rogues. You see different things. We already saw them pull out the Mac. Is that something that they're going to be able to pull out against Cute Hamster potentially again? We got to find out, adaptability. They're already changing things up. They also have the Dahlia. We haven't seen Dahlia like that with res characters being played in King of the Hill. Might be switching things up, and they're adapting well. So how well are all the other teams going to be able to adapt? There's only one ban right now. You only get one rogue ban. So there's a ton of different comps that can get thrown at you in Demolition and in King of the Hill. So the main one, in my opinion, is just being able to adapt.
Adaptability, very important. And like you said, there's a ton of different comps. Speaking of a ton of different comps, usually it depends on what map you're going to. So let's go ahead and take a look at our series layout for this matchup that we have coming at you. And some good maps already. I mean, we've got Hollows coming in for game number 1 on Demolition, Windward for King of the Hill in game number 2, and then if necessary, we will be using Favelas for our third game on Demolition as well. I mean, what are you thinking, Rome? These maps looking pretty spicy here.
Yeah, I like this matchup. Now, what I like about this is if you guys have been following the competitive rogue scene for, a very long time, you guys have probably seen a lot of these players on the side of Ruling Pigeon before. Gucci, Dragonox, Gingivitis, Evaporation, they've all been in these CMGs. They've played in the 8Ks before. They took a break for a few months, but now they're back. So I'm excited to see how they're going to be playing on the new map when they haven't actually played the new map in competitive yet. Are they going to struggle on it? Are they going to be fastly able to adapt? That's going to be something that we're going to be able to see. I would assume that they are the favorite going into this matchup as they are the names that are more household names in the Rogue Company competitive scene, but you never know what could happen. We might see an upset as, like I said, they're players that are used to the Favelas, the Windwards, things like that. How good are they going to be on Hollows? We gotta find out right now.
Yeah, and we've only seen one game on Hollows that has gone the distance. That was between Cute Hamsters and Right Turtle, I think back in the month of May, where it went to a 7-7. Other than that, every time we watch Demolition and Hollows, it's usually a steamroll on one or the other side, either 8-0, 8-1. Sometimes, it's an 8-2, but we see a lot of 8-0s, 8-1s on that map. But let's talk predictions now, Rome. You're hyping up the boys, Ruling Pigeon. They haven't been on Hollows before competitively. They've taken a few months off. They're going up against Axe Black with Exo, Killer, Gachette, and Reigns. We've never seen these players before. What's your prediction going into this match?
My prediction is that Ruling Pigeon is going to come out and they're going to say, look, we might have been out of the meta for a while. We might have, missed a few updates, but that doesn't mean that we can't still put our foot down and show that we are top competitive players. And we've seen Dragonox. Dragonox at one point, he said, I am the best Scorch in the game. Now, granted, this was back in 2020. He was saying that he was the best Scorch in the game. This was a time when Scorch was just now becoming meta, the Scorch Molly meta on Factory, the Scorch plants and the Mollies, things like that. He was the one leading the way with Scorch originally. So is he going to pick up a different rogue when Scorch isn't as meta now? Is he going to go back to the Scorch and bring back Scorch? Who knows, man? I'm excited to see this. But I'm going to go with Ruling Pigeon.
All right, you heard it here first. Rome DMV taking Ruling Pigeon over Axe Black. But guess what, Rome? You're talking about these players from Ruling Pigeon. They haven't been here for a while, but they knew exactly where to come back in order to compete in some Road Company action, and that's checkmategaming.com. We've got tons of other games on there as well, but I mean, if you just need to know what CMG is all about, it's about giving the players the platform where they can compete and make some money, whether it's every day in some tournaments or in these big $10,000 tournaments. But enough of what I'm trying to tell you. I've got a great video that can kind of explain to you what CMG is all about.
You have owned the competition, from the front line to the goal line. Now get paid to play your favorite video games at CheckmateGaming.com. Challenge your friends or take on the world in head-to-head matches and online tournaments. Showcase your skills, earn cash prizes, and become a top-tier esports legend. Whether you're a novice or an expert, put your skills to the test and make bank with Checkmate Gaming. Are you ready to rise to the top?
All right, you heard it there. Are you ready to rise to the top? That's the question that we have to ask a lot of these players coming into today's tournament because it's open bracket. I mean, we get all these new teams usually. Some of them don't really make it too far. But Axe Black could become another one of those teams that makes it pretty deep. I mean, we had the console gods that were playing on their PS5s in, I think it was May. They did pretty decently with players like Sinmade, who, again, is playing with a new roster today. He did
Oh
some
yeah.
spectacular things on Glitch. And then last month, we had a new team kind of rise through the ranks and make a name for themselves. That was Heartbreaker Squad with Definitely Not Ready. They even made, I think, top 6. So they got some money in that main event, Rome. Could Axe Black be
Oh
that
yeah.
next team that makes a splash?
Who knows, man? I'm excited to find out. Axe Black, new players, new players into the competitive scene. You love to see it. How are they going to adapt? But I say this is a great matchup for them. These are players, like I said, that haven't been in the competitive scene for that long. So who knows? This Axe squad, if they've been practicing, they might come in and absolutely steamroll this Demolition. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm very excited to see this Demolition right here on Hollows, man.
Yeah, it's always a wild card when a new team comes in just because we don't know if they've just started playing the game, which could kind of even things out considering the other side and Ruling Pigeons, like you mentioned, hasn't really played competitively on Hollows yet that we know of. But again, they could, or they could just be a team that's been playing the entire time and they're used to the game. They just finally said, you know what, let's sign up for this $10,000 tournament. Let's go in there and let's see what we're made of. Not just go in there and try to win, but let's really test our mettle against some of these teams and see how they're doing. Rome, you've said you're excited. I'm pretty excited as well because we get to see some new blood. We get to see some new teams going up against each other. And the bans are coming in. Fixer will be banned out by Axe Black. So new team, but it looks like they've done their homework. They know what they need to do very early on. And then on the other side, Ruling Pigeon will take out Glitch, which I think is kind of okay-ish because Glitch is a strong character, Rome. But also, every new team that has come in and made a big splash has played Glitch fairly well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Glitch is definitely come into the meta ever since they doubled that radius on his reveal and let him pull his phone back out once he uses it for more intel. Glitch has just been an absolute staple in Rogue Company. He's picked or banned in probably 80% or more of the matches, so I'm not surprised to see it banned on Hollows. If he wasn't going to be banned, probably would have been picked. So, we're probably going to see an Anvil come out since, we're going to see Fixer out of the game. So we're going to be able to see some smoke plants with the Anvil shield, things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a Seeker or a Dallas as the intel characters. Might even see a Talon. Who knows, man? Who knows?
We've seen a
Let's
lot of
get into
Dallas
these
played on
picks.
Hollows. Yeah, we're getting into the picks, and you mentioned Dallas. We've seen a lot of Dallas being played on this map in the small sample size of watching it on Demolition. I feel like we've watched a lot of Strikeout on this map in the past 2 months. Demolition, we have seen some, just not as much as maybe we would like. But here we are. I mean, we've got the Ruling Pigeons already locking in all 4 members. They're going to go with that Saint. No Intel Rogue for them except for maybe they have the tracker rounds coming through on evap with the Saint, but they have the Kestrel, of course, that's a staple. They have that Anvil and Lancer. They're on the defensive side looking really good. Meanwhile, on the attacking side, Rome, we've got a Seeker for their intel side of things. So the Seeker, instead of the Saint, can still get really fast reses because he can get Lifeline, but they also have the Dahlia with that perk as well. And then you have Anvil and Kestrel to round things out for them.
Yeah, and I like the Lancer pick out of the defensive side, mainly because on this map, if there's no glitch on the map, you get control of that middle pit on defense. You can kind of stop the rotation from A over to B, kind of take that out of the game, especially if you open the button. You can do things around the button plays. I like the Lancer. If they ever try to go B, they're going to have to clear out long and inner, because Lancer could be ratting in either one. And honestly, this Lancer on defense is the player to watch, in my opinion, because where she goes can decide the entire round. She can go there and just absolutely throw her life away, or she can make the play of the game. But usually a Lancer in this situation with minimal reveals on the other side is going to be the factor. It looks like we got an A push coming out of Axe Squad right now. And one player is going to be back in the cave side, holding it down, probably going to use that Kestrel ult if they decide to push. Instead, going to be backing out, playing it safe, making sure that his teammates have the cover, giving up a good chunk of control of this site. And we might actually see a plant going down from the Axe Squad pretty soon, as it looks like they are giving it up mostly.
Yeah, already going towards that A side. Couple throwables coming out. Remember, not too many to begin with, since it is the pistol round. Only $5,000 in everyone's pockets. And if you go for that lethal, whether it's the C4 bounce grenade or normal grenade, you don't get it down, especially if you don't win the round, you might not have enough to get your primary weapon going into round 2. Drones will come out from Killer. Those don't connect onto anything. Gingivitis playing very dangerously behind that small box that's behind the crane on the defender's side. But the bomb has gone down. A shield as well. Gachette did find Big Gooch. And like you said, Lancer gets taken out quickly.
Threw her life away. Those are the type of flanks either you got to do before they get the bomb down, or you got to just wait until your team pinches. The Lancer flanked way too early, threw her life away, and now it's going to be a lot harder for this team to finish up. 3v1 now. The Dahlia, the only one left alive, and they're going to be taking out the Dahlia as well, getting that defuse. And yeah, right there. Even though the Lancer did throw her life away, the rest of the team was able to come in and clean up. So not a great play out of the Lancer, but teammates able to do what they need to do, get the pinches. No revives came in, didn't even need them. Was able to get that defuse pure and clean. Good plays coming out of them.
Yeah, Big Gooch got caught out on that Lancer, like you were mentioning. That was a massive play for the attacking side, but it kind of all just fell apart. They were holding inside red. They were holding on the porch and within the cave as well. But Evap going with the smoke grenade in round number 1. Huge play. He smokes off the red room towards the left if you're looking from that defending side of the map. And that just allowed them to shut that line of sight down so that they can push into the porch or cave together as a 3-man, and they were able to isolate some members very quickly and efficiently, took them out. Now the defenders, Lancer, kind of playing a little bit more cautiously here, and already Gachette finds Gingivitis. That was not cautious. He was playing a little dangerously the round before. This time, though, he elects to get a little bit more aggressive as he moved up, but Dragonox does find Reigns and Gachette. Nice double from him. Exo did fall from Big Gooch. Now the Lancer's starting to make some plays. The revive trying to come through into cave, but no, Lancer says. This time she doesn't go down very early, and instead she makes some plays herself.
Yeah, great play out of the Lancer there. Now, something to point out. The economy in Rogue Company right now when it comes to demolition. If you buy a Semtex or a utility and then you die without getting an elimination, without getting it down, without getting an assist, you're not going to have enough money for a gun. The Lancer, she bought padded steps round 1. Only $3,000. It guarantees you to be able to buy a gun for $7,000 in the next round. So that is what Gucci was able to do. So not on a pistol, simply because he bought the padded steps round 1, able to hit those flanks, able to get a gun round 2 and help out his team. And that was part of the main reason they just won that round right there.
That's an excellent point you make, because she uses a shotgun and an SMG. That 24S, of course, the 99% favored weapon in the competitive scene for the Lancer. Only 7,000, not 8,000 like the DMRs and the assault rifles. Already a quick kill. Gingivitis finds a double with the drones, and just like that, that round's over, Rome. Not even enough time to even give you any information on what happened.
Yeah, that was a quick one. Everyone just flooded, and that was just a pure aggression out of this defensive side. They met them, and the offensive team was not ready for that. AX gonna need to be prepared for those push-ups. They do have a Lancer. That Lancer can beat you into both rooms. So you just got to clear everything out, you know, just got to play it safe, play it slow, not sorry.
Yeah, and with the Kestrel with 0 knocks, 0 elims, no assists, nothing on the board for her at all for the attacking side, that is very difficult for your team once these rounds start to, build up, because it's round 4 coming in now. She's not going to be able to have as much in her kit as she would like. I mean, look at the Kestrel on the defensive side. Gingivitis, he's got the Stalker, you can tell. Most notably, looks like he has padded steps. I can't hear his footsteps. So you got 2 stalkers and padded steps, with the Lancer and the Kestrel walking next to each other, side by side, like they're going to
scary.
prom, and they're looking to dance all over someone right now. And, well, they're going to start shooting somebody, kind of throw them off their scent.
And this is a 2-2 pinch right now. So right here is actually very important, because if the defense if the offense recognizes this, they can push out 2 players and make it a 4v2. Evap's able to take out 1. Looks like that is the play they're going to opt to do, and they're going to be pushing these players out, and it's just not going to work out for him as Axe Killer dies to his own Kestrel ult. Gachetti's able to take out Gingivitis. Reigns takes out Evap. And now we got ourselves a 1v1, Lancer versus Anvil. Bomb's been planted. Lancer's going to win that one. Life Drain and the res going to be coming through. And they're going to get that defuse pure yet again.
That was a beautiful 2-2 split, like you mentioned. They were able to isolate someone. Once that evap down onto Seeker came through, everything kind of collapsed. They had to push evap, but he knew that if he just backed up, the 2 members, being Lancer and Kestrel, will just be able to walk up behind them and push very aggressively on the backside of that attacking squad. Excellent play there from the side of Ruling Pigeons. They're looking flawless. I said, I mean, one team, they kind of just run away with this on this map from what we've seen before, besides the one time we saw a 7-7. But look at this, 4-0, as Ruling Pigeon on the defensive side is taking a commanding lead. Only 3 rounds remain in the first half. We can go 4-3 at the end of the half, but Axe Black's going to have to really pick up the pace here, especially that Kestrel needs some money in the bank for her to get as much of that kit online as possible. You can even see on the opposing side that how detrimental it is when Kestrel has as much as well Gingivitis has, as they're looking to go for the 2-2 split once more.
Yeah,
B-site is the site that they're looking to take over, as the offense is pushing all the way into the back of the mountain here, in the back of this base. Dragonox now isolated all alone, and they're able to take him down. They took out Evap as well. Exo making some plays all alone. Gachette finishes him off, and now it's a 2v4 with the attackers having that advantage.
Yes, and right now the Lancer are going to be looping around, just trying to get an angle, assuming that they're going to be coming back to this A site, which they are going to be doing. So Lancer does have her ult up, might be able to get a pick here. Now, if they're able to make it a 3v2, things could get spicy. And right now, this is a big 1v1. This right here could decide this entire round. Is Exo going to be able to take out Gucci? One of them's going to have to challenge eventually, as this Lancer knows he's there. 45 seconds left on the clock. Killer able to get one. Boots popped. 1v1. Able to take him out without taking any damage. Gonna look for the next challenge, though. His partner did get taken out, sadly. And now we have ourselves a 1v3. And don't think Big Gooch is going to be able to clutch this one up, Blue.
Yeah, it is a tough spot he is in at the current moment. I mean, 3v1 coming through, and Gachette finds another one. We talk about Kestrel not having as much money as the defending Kestrel at this moment, but Gachette on this Dahlia, man, it almost seems as if he's the one on the offensive prowl here, as he takes down yet another one. He's looking good with that money in the bank. Not as much as Evap down there at the bottom for the defending side, but this could be what turns the tides here for the attacking squad. Finally able to get one on the board, as it is now 4-1. Maybe I just willed it into existence here, as Kresnik likes to say I do a lot. It's finally they're able to find that, get themselves on the board, and maybe things will start to look up for them here. That was a nice push into that B site. But this time around, Lancer with the boots popped quick and quietly coming through the B site. Does he know that range is there? Well, he does now, and he's able to take him out pretty quickly. Semtex to kind of finish him off. He will not
able to get it, though. The Saint drone is there in time. Oh, they didn't send a Saint. Oh, the Dahlia Link did not come in time. They couldn't get the Dahlia close enough in time, so the res didn't come through. I was wondering why he wasn't getting revived. Lancer able to get the second pick of the round, going for the third, not able to get it, but the partner able to take it and clean it up. Now the Saint taking out the Dahlia, says, I am the better revive character, and that's a 5-1 lead now for Ruling Pigeon. Wow.
I love that play from Saint and Lancer. They get that initial pick. They know the bomb gets dropped there. That revive doesn't come in from the Dahlia Link on the attacking side. And they said, we don't need to push this. They have to come get this bomb. And one person went to the left to try and pick up that bomb. They ended up getting down. Then they said, okay, let's push into them. But then they were able, they got the Lancer down, but she did enough damage to where Saint could just clean up with one burst of that Mamba. So great teamwork from the two of them there. And that's just a perfect example of knowing how you can get aggressive and push past your bomb sites on that defensive side, but you also don't have to get too aggressive. You don't have to get overzealous. You don't have to go too far into that attacking side of the map. They did exactly what they needed to do, and it worked out perfectly for them, especially with the initial pick onto the bomb carrier being that anvil. And that takes out a large part of your strategy here as the attackers look to get the bomb planted behind that shield. And now setting up some sticky sensors as they're moving towards this B site. Seeker trying to gather as much intel. Still has the arrow available as well. And now they're just ADS and seeing if they can see anything. Taking out one piece of util from the defensive side. The shield goes down. Could have shredder rounds from a few people like the anvil there. Might have
but they didn't even need it. Those players were in the cut, so they just had a free shot on the anvil. The shield is still there. I'm not sure why they sent all four long. They did correct the mistake of not sending the Dahlia with the person that she was linked with, but you can't send all four players long because you have to clear out the inner, or else Kestrel and Lancer are just going to have a field day flanking, which they've done every single time. And right there, you just got to keep on trying to adjust. You went down 6-1 on the offensive side. People like to say that this is a defensive sided map. So let's see if they're going to be able to flip the script and bring this thing back. Nothing's impossible. You never say never. We've seen comebacks before. So this definitely isn't impossible out of Axe Black. It's gonna be interesting to see how they adjust at halftime, though, for sure.
Yeah, adjustments will be made, of course, as they bring out the Dallas this time. They have a Talon as well, so two different types of intel rogues they're bringing out on their defensive stance here on Hollows. And you talked about, will we see the Seeker, the Dallas, the Talon? What kind of intel will we see? Well, we've seen all three now already, as we get the Seeker on attack from Axe Black, and then on the defensive side we get that Dallas Talon combo. And this could be interesting. I mean, the amount of intel that they can gather across this vast majority of this map within a small amount of time could be very vital.
Yes, very, very vital.
And 6-1.
And a couple weeks ago, I said intel was very important on offense on this map. If we look at the offensive team, 0 intel characters. So they're going to be pushing all these corners blindly. They're going to be pushing everything, literally everything blindly. They're going to have to guess correctly on how to play and execute it perfectly every single round. Whatever their plan is going to be, not sure what it's going to look like. It's going to be an A push right now. They have 2 smoke characters on their squad, so they will be able to get a plant down most likely if they want to. And there's going to be 1 smoke coming out, smoking off Exo. And that plant's going to be coming down. Gingivitis takes out the Dahlia. Now that is a big down. Exo trying to make something happen, but he's going to get taken out as well. And this is just absolute obliteration coming in from the side of Ruling Pigeon. Because right now it's a 3v1. Only the Kestrel left in mid, down to 50 HP. He is able to finish that player. Now in a 1v2, things a little bit interesting, but is going to get taken out by Gingivitis, and they are going to be going up 7-1. And wow, Blue, that one really escalated quickly and ended even quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it did escalate pretty quickly, but Killer was able to get it down, so he'll have a few extra dollars in his pocket considering he is playing the Kestrel. But I like the plays coming out from the attacking side of Ruling Pigeon. Like you said, double smoke characters in Saint and Lancer. and they don't really have any intel. But if this does end up going the distance, then they will have 3 tracker rounds available. I don't know if Lancer will prioritize that as quickly, but you do have Vi, you do have Saint. We're able to grab those, so they can get some type of intel if they have to go the distance. But with only 1 round needed to win, they'll have the money advantage. The snap will come through from the Dallas on the defending side. Nothing will come of it. They did get some intel, but it's a 2-2 split from the attackers, so they can still kind of have the advantage here. Couple shots coming out from the LMPX on the Talon through Cave onto that Kestrel from the attacking side, but she kind of backs up, and now Lancer gets met right face to face with Reigns as he takes him out pretty quickly with that revolver in his hand. And that was the bomb carrier as well. So now they have the advantage. And just as I say that, Gachette and Reigns both getting knocked by Gingivitis as he finds a double kill. And quickly the tables have turned here as it's a 2v3 with the attackers back in possession of the bomb and now possession of the bomb site as they take control of this B site with the bomb planted. Now the aggression coming from Dragonox. He gets knocked very quickly as Exo was able to take him out. But the other two, Gingivitis, Evap, still playing on the backside where the defenders usually spawn from. Grenade comes out onto Evap. Huge damage onto him as he's only 1 shot, but he doesn't care. He's still going to poke with the pistol, take out 1, and that allows them to finish off the last member, even with the bomb still planted. It was looking, or the bomb being taken out of their possession, it wasn't looking good as Lancer got picked very early, but then everything just kind of fell apart for Axe Black once they pushed in and got possession of that B site. Rome, Axe Black, 8-1 falling to Ruling Pigeons. You talked about Ruling Pigeon taking a couple months to, kind of take a break. There's been a lot of meta changes, a lot of changes to the balance of weapons, characters, and they haven't played Hollows, but they look very, very good here.
Oh yeah, it looked really, really clean. Defense was really, really good. They were patient on defense and even more patient on offense, at least in this second round. The first round on offense, they just threw those smokes and absolutely pushed, and they did not have an answer for them. But these defensive rounds were just so solid. The Lancer plays from Gucci, able to really help them get off to a great early lead, keeping the enemy Kestrel at a low income, not able to get a whole lot to help. And yeah, you can see the Kestrel playing for her life. The Dallas able to get a big pick on the Lancer. But sadly, it's going to be all she wrote, and that's going to be an 8-1. Great plays. Great plays coming out of Ruling Pigeon.
I mean, I said it. It's either an 8-0 or an 8-1. Very rarely have we seen an 8-2 on Hollows in the competitive scene. We've had 1 game go the distance, 7-7. But that was a cute hamsters right turtle match. But now we're going to King of the Hill. It'll be on Windward. This is a map we haven't seen in King of the Hill for quite a while on broadcast. It's been a few weeks. I feel like we kind of took a vacation away from Windward, which seems insane because this looks like the perfect vacation spot. But Rome, what are you thinking going into Windward? What do we think Axe Black can bring to the table to kind of change the way this series has gone so far?
At this point, they might need to bring in a different rogue. Maybe we've seen teams pull out pocket picks like the Sigrid, things like that. Weird picks that you can throw at teams that they don't expect, that they can't really have a counter for. That's what I'm really going to mainly look for, because I feel like if they're going to be trying to play this straight up with the basic rogues, the bans are going to be very telling with these teams. Is the Lancer going to be banned? Are they going to say, Gucci, you're not going to play Lancer in King of the Hill against us? Is that what they're going to say? Or are they going to say, you know what, we can play Lancer too? I'm not sure if that's the best option for them at this point. Gucci was looking really, really comfortable on that Lancer. We shall see. I'm really excited to see the bans. The bans, I'm guessing Lancer is going to be banned. Not sure what the other pick is going to be, but the bans are going to be very telling for both of these teams and most likely decide the comps at the end of the day.
Hey, we could see something spicy that teams don't really prep for. Like a Dima, Rome. We've seen Dima a few times on Strikeout in these 10Ks, on Windward especially. And, you talk about Scorch and how much she can bring to the table, but Dima can bring those EMPs and a lot of explosiveness. I mean, when you're trying to sit on the hill and you see a Dima bomb being refreshed and thrown at your face, things could get a little spicy, I would say. But Ruling Pigeon up 1-0 after game number 1. on Hollows. That was our demolition. We're heading to Windward for our game number 2, which is King of the Hill. Rogue's already being locked in. It looks like Kestrel, Seeker, of course, the Chalk and Ronin will come through as well. Ronin getting a little bit of a change in the next few days as well. Her passive, of course, will prevent her from being revealed entirely. That could be a game changer, Rome, because like you said, intel is key, but she can kind of shut that down and become Lancer 2.0. Not as quiet or not as quick and quiet, but unable to be revealed the entire time. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Scorch, Vi, Lancer, and Mac. So you talked about bringing something out that could spice it up. Is Mac enough?
I feel like there's a lot of spice on both teams. I feel like both teams have 2 power picks that the other team didn't decide to use. I feel like one side you have the Chalk and the Kestrel, obviously S tier rogues when it comes to King of the Hill, and on the other side you have Lancer and Vi. You know what I'm saying? 2 extremely good rogues for King of the Hill. One side has Mac, which we don't really see that often in King of the Hill. Scorch, we see her picked up when Vi's banned or things like that. Sometimes people like to run the double molly in the Scorch with the Vi. The Ronin pocket pick with the Seeker is going to be very, very interesting. Now, I like the Seeker. He does have life drain for that second round eventually. So, going to be feeling very, very good. Right now, this Lancer are going to be booting up, and they're not going to be pushing into that, as that Chalk is going to be going down immediately. Now this Vi going to be doing what she does, up top cannons, making sure they control this entire side. Gonna need to take out the Chalk, but the Chalk self-rezzed, and they didn't finish the kills, and that is so important. That Chalk, man, such a powerful pick. That is one of the reasons why you can just simply get up if you ignore him. And right now, this is a heavily contested hill from both sides. Neither team wanting to give up many points at all. Neither team deciding to rotate for next. We still got a bloodbath, Blue. 20 seconds left.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on this first hill. Of course, that first one does have less time than the others just because it starts when you jump from the plane. But, I missed it the first time, but I just realized that the bans were the same from game number 1. So Fixer Glitch. I don't think the glitch necessarily needs to be banned in King of the Hill. Yeah, he brings the flashbang, but look at the amount of power picks we have in the game currently. Chalk, what a staple in King of the Hill he's been. Kestrel. You've got Vi, Scorch, Lancer. Those are all bannable characters that we've seen banned time after time. Even Anvil could have been banned, but he wasn't picked as well. That's even like the second time out of all the King of the Hills on broadcast that we've seen. I think last week was the first time we saw that happen as well. Drones will come out, takes him out, Killer from behind as they try and take control of hill number 2 here. 45-29, Ruling Pigeon still on top. And the early rotation from them, but they just win this team fight, so they have control of the objective. But just as I say that, someone's sneaking in, a little bit of a crouch walk there to gather some points. Did grab 6 points. That's 6 seconds they held that hill, but it doesn't look like it'll be enough. Meanwhile, Dragonox and the rest of Ruling Pigeon have 1 member. Gingivitis sitting on the B hill. And they kind of said, you know what? We can give this up. We don't have to hold this. 10 seconds till hill number 3 comes through, and guess what? Already set up on it is Ruling Pigeon. Look at this. This right here, this is the money hill. Hill number 3. Yep. You got to be able to break into this very effectively, Rome, and it doesn't look like it's going to be very successful very early on in this hill's life.
Yeah, they were already able to get control about 15 seconds till that next hill. They had complete control of the spawns, making sure the enemy team spawned out. The Chalk able to get it down on mid to spawn them even further out. Just amazing plays coming out of this Pigeon squad right now. And right now, they're just not able to break this hill whatsoever. Going to be pushing the front side. Finally, is the Scorch going to be going down? Yes. And my goodness, right now, looks like Gucci deciding to go on the Chalk instead of the Lancer. Looks like it is going to be paying off as they're up 60 going into this final D hill. And they still got 25 seconds on the old hill. So they might get all the way up to 135 points, only needing 15 points on the final hill if they don't get taken out. But it looks like the hill will be broken. So going to need 32 points on this final hill or to just win at the end of the minute 30. As long as you get the enemy team out of this hill, the Ronin knife gonna be probably coming out pretty soon. Let's see what Dragonox able to do with it. Scorch gonna be going down, not able to push up. Boom, there's the Ronin knife we're talking about, taking down Gichetti on the Mac. Great plays coming out of him. And right now, they are just locking down this 4 square, not letting them get anywhere near it. Evap going to be going down, but able to call out. Both of them are going to be coming from there. So his teammates should be able to pick up those angles pretty easily.
And I love the fact that they were able to get a lot of garbage time on hill number 3 for Axe Black, because now the pressure to hold that last hill for a majority of the time plus sudden death isn't as it's not as needed now, because they had over 60. They can hold this for a minute, and if they do so, then they're looking pretty good in the sudden death. Of course, they'll still have to go, but 10 seconds is all Ruling Pigeon need in order to take this round. And right now, it might not look as easy as you would have thought. Big Gooch still playing from behind the staircase. And now some shots on Vi as another one comes through. And Evap making some plays with the double. Does get Insend off, but he doesn't matter. He finds one. Woo! He finds a second one. Gingivitis helping out with the bounce nade as well. Round number 1 will go in favor of Ruling Pigeon. And finally, Evap goes down, but the round was already over. 11 knocks for him. Only 4 assists. Meanwhile, Dragonox on that Ronin putting up some very nice numbers here. 7 assists, 13 downs, 21 eliminations. Meanwhile, Gingivitis only 3 downs with that Kestrel.
Yeah, love to see the plays coming out. Even if you're on Kestrel, a lot of times people say, Kestrel, you should be top fragging on this map. But honestly, if you have a comp like this, Kestrel's the one player with padded steps and Stalker. She can hold the spawn, she can rotate early where the other team won't notice her, won't hear her rotating, unlike the Ronin Chalk or Seeker. So a lot of times you are going to be having Gingivitis just holding the spawns on that Kestrel, not really getting into mini gunfights, just holding it down for the team to do what they do, which is slay out. Because Chalk, Ronin, and Seeker, that is what they are best for. Finding you, seeking you out, and taking you out. And right now, we are going to be getting some contesting. But like you said, this hill is very quick. Not going to be long. Only a 12-point game right now. As this is heavily contested. And that lead is shrinking already. Teams are already going to start rotating toward that B hill. The B and C hills are the money hills, especially that C hill. But B, you can lock down B for a good chunk of time. If you are able to get those spawns, keep forcing them to spawn on the other side of the map, you can really lock down B side as well. So let's see how well they're going to be able to hold this as they early rotated. Let's see if it's going to pay off. And wow, Evap able to take him out at the very, very back staircase. And he is holding the mess out of these spawns in the extremely back end of it.
Yeah, it's almost as if, usually you see these two teams, you drop, you go towards hill number 1, and then you sort of just go for that first initial team fight. If it ends too soon, then you're giving the other team a lot of points to start off with. But you want to be that team that really starts that early rotation into hill number 2. And already Gachette trying to set up for hill 3, as number 2 is still being controlled by Ruling Pigeon, as they take a 10-point lead, and it is still growing. On the market, though, Big Gooch trying to make some plays onto Gachette. You can see the rest of Axe Black trying to come through the side from mid-map into market. They're able to find the kill on the Big Gooch from behind as well. Exo did go down for Axe Black, now trying to break through this defense being held on hill number 2. The respawn's coming through for Ruling Pigeon. It looks like they might start to make a little bit of a rotation here towards hill number 3 already. And they kind of had control with Gingivitis over there, but it looks like they may have given it up. They might not be playing for hill 3 as effectively as they would like, or maybe we would like, considering it is kind of that money hill. You got to get in there. You got to soak up as much as hill 3 so that you can start your rotation. Hill number 4, nice bounce nade from Evap, and then he gets a quick turnaround onto a Scorch for down number 2. Evap making some plays once more as a nade comes right in next to him, and an Incen as well. Dodge rolls in place, almost got the knock, but instead it's Gachette with the double. He's got the big LMG in his hand. That's Mac. Throws that ultimate down. I don't know if it did connect with anyone or flashbanged anyone. Exo does know that someone is waiting behind, so he will throw the bounce nade that he picks up. 40 coming off a nade from Big Gooch now, but he does end up going down. Trades coming back and forth, and hill number 3 with a little over 30 seconds remaining is a bloodbath.
Yes, absolute war. Both teams not wanting to give up any points. but it looks like they are going to be able to take out 2 more players, get the rest of this scrap time heading into this final D-Hill. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a 4-point game heading into this D-Hill. That's what it's going to boil down to. So we might see a sudden death, probably will. That's usually how these things go. I'm super excited. Man, here we go.
Yeah, we do see the score starting to go back and forth. We did see a 4-point lead, and then all of a sudden Ruling Pigeons had control. They were gaining some points. Now it's back in possession of Axe Black. We talked about this over the last 2 months when Strikeout was first introduced into the tournaments. Then King of the Hill was introduced. And then last week, we saw the best of 5s in that main event where we had Strikeout and King of the Hill. Teams, some are just much better at winning respawns compared to Demolition. It used to be, you know, you can win every Strikeout and lose all the demos, still lose the best of 5s or the best of 3s. That could be the case here today, as Demolition is the 2 out of the 3 games. But for right now, it is looking really good for Axe Black as they are trying to make this go into a round number 3, force that sudden death as they lead
right
117 and still climbing, Rome.
This is the push that matters, because if you're able to retake the hill with 15 seconds and you hold it, make them spawn out, you can hold and win sudden death. The Ronin is in a 1v1 with the Scorch on the other side, is going to be able to take her out, and just like that, they have control of the hill. Everyone's going to be spawning out. Now the Ronin going to need to stay in the hill. You can't leave, can't go to that wall, and he sees 3 players. All 4 players have been spotted by the Ronin. Going to need to stay in. Can't get out of the hill, can't go to any of these deep corners. 2 players are going to be challenged in the inner arch. 1v1 with the Ronin and the Mac, going to be able to take him out. Still a player in the cut. That player's going to take him out. The Kestrel going to be spawning out. And ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a 1-to-1 match going to the 3rd round. Woo, man, this is a heater.
Yeah, 1-to-1 going into round number 3. I mean, Dragonox almost stepped off the objective. He was trying to get some cover from behind the wall next to that church window. Of course, there's that little space between the wall and the actual objective, so you can kind of just fade towards the wall and not realize that you're stepping off the objective. He did end up going down, though. Some nice good knocks coming in. Nice push from the side of Axe Black. They tie this at 1 apiece, and you only need 2 to win when it comes to King of the Hill. So this round here, this is the money round. This is the round to tell all, as they pop their quick and quiet through the smoke. Incense falling as well. More smoke coming through. You can see reveals coming through. A couple members might have tracker rounds. I mean, you can have Vi with it. You can also have the Seeker arrow coming through as well. Trying to shoot out that light bomb. It does come through and it does connect. Couple members getting blind. Meanwhile, Evap finds a double. That's about his 4th double this game. He is making some massive plays with that big old AR in that Seeker's kit that he uses.
Yes. And the big difference between this round and the other previous 2 rounds is that a team actually controlled the first hill and got a decent lead on it. You know, we see what is this going to be, a 25 point lead going into the next hill. You know, that's the type of lead that you want to have going into the next hill. Now let's see who's going to be able to get control of it, because that's going to be the most important thing. This Lancer in Axe is in a 1v1 with the Seeker for this spawn control. So this right here is the fight, and the Lancer's going to win it. So we should see Axe Black take control of this hill as a whole. Oh man, but the Lancer has to kill 2 people right here. Is behind 1, not able to get 1, is able to land the sticky, downs the Kestrel. Now, are they going to be able to flood in time? Yes, they are, and they have control of this site, ladies and gentlemen. Now, they did spawn at the back wrap. Looks like the Mac is going to be going ahead and rotating to that C hill with 40 seconds left. That's how much teams are prioritizing the C hill over the current one. This one is going to be a bloodbath. The next one is the money hill. It's the one that matters. Like you said so many times, you see the entire side of Axe Black is spawning up over there. They're not going to be pushing this hill anymore. They're saying, you know what? You can have that scrap time. Come and fight us, baby. This is our hill, and you got to break it. This is the money hill, and we're cashing out. We're going for these 2 points. We're placing top 8, not you.
26-point lead is still growing with that garbage time being picked up on hill number 2. That's 7 seconds left. That's another 7 points that they can gather. Will be a little bit of a comeback needed here from hill number 3, but they have complete control of it, and they're already getting knocks on the market which pays big dividends considering they're going to be trying to launch themselves through the spawns to get back to this hill. Light bomb does come out. This is probably one of the most effective light bomb using Max that we've seen thus far. Nicely done, as that one did connect onto evap. Killer did go down, but he will get revived, something you normally don't see. But he wants as much help on this objective as possible. And now they're starting to gain that time back that they lost with that garbage time here.
We never see revives on money hills. That is so beautiful, because having that is so big, because now they're going to be taking the lead going into this. They were down 45 points at the start of this hill, and now they're about to swing it and take control going into this last D hill, which really you don't really need to fight for spawns for, because you can spawn on any side. It's in the middle of the map. So right now, that is a great play coming out of Axe Black. And right now, the lack of a Lancer, lack of the mobility, lack of being able to rotate early, that might be starting to rear its ugly head for the squad of Ruling Pigeon. The Lancer just going big, holding the spawns. Is she going to win this 2v1? That would be massive. No, not able to take out the Ronin. My goodness, Dragonox, big 1v1. Going to be re-picking up that Ronin knife, at least attempting to. So many things on the ground. Really trying to pick up that Ronin knife, not able to, just going to throw some grenades. Holding these spawns, going to need to take out the Mac right here. Can't lose those. Goes down to 31 HP, is going to stay alive, but needs to break the hill. You're down 40 points. You need to get into the hill, and you need to do it now, and you need to hold for an extremely long time. There's 45 seconds left on the timer for the map, so if they get this broken this one last time with 25 seconds left, it might be a race to the hill just to contest and get on it by itself. And yes, just like that, the side of Axe Black did take over the hill. Scorch not able to take one down. Two players go down on the side of Axe Black. Gachetti able to take one down. 3v2 right now on the site. Double Flash going to be coming out. Might need to take control of the site. 22-point game. My goodness. This is coming down to the wire, Blue. Kestrel able to take down the Mac coming up behind him. And right now, Pigeon retaking the site, slaying out, needing to hold it for 28 more seconds. This is going to a sudden death, ladies and gentlemen. Players are flying in from gold right now. Mac, is he going to win the 1v1? No, that one might have decided everything. Right now, Gingivitis needing to hold it down, needing to not let anyone get on the site. Can't step off of it himself. He's going to get finished.
Can't step off.
Everyone's, 7-point game. This is so close. They were able to retake the site. The Vi went massive, needing to finish the kills, and there we go. That's defeat. 2-1. Oh my goodness. Axe Black takes out Ruling Pigeon, and my goodness, Blue, we did not see this one coming. I'm sorry. Axe Black absolutely showed out, reverse sweeping them in the King of the Hill. Beautiful stuff. We're going to a demolition map 3. Wow.
Take a breath, man. It's okay.
Whew.
We're going to game 3. You have plenty of time to kind of breathe it in and to exhale. That was a long call for you there. Also, I mean, Axe Black, they get to take a breath, right? Because they're not eliminated. They get to kind of exhale and say, whew, we won our respawn. We won this King of the Hill. We were down 1-0 to begin that, but now we get to go through and we get to say, okay, what went wrong for us in that demolition? What can we pick up? But let's take a look at these replays from game number 2. The amount of comeback potential that they had from that money hill being hill number 3, hill number 4, with all the different ways you can be attacked from, the different entry points, all these different angles that you have to hold on any map, primarily windward with those 4 big intersections coming in. It's difficult, but they were able to do it. They looked a lot like Right Turtle, where hills 3 and 4 were their strong points, and they were able to clutch it out. They were down 1-0. Rome, what went perfect for them there?
Honestly, I feel like they just outscaled, that they had the Scorch. Once she's able to get both of those EMPs, the Mac able to upgrade his gun even more every single round. Kestrel, she scales extremely well. Then the Lancer with life drain, tracker rounds. Like you said, the tracker rounds might have been the deciding factor. 3 players with it. Just great stuff coming out of them, man. Great stuff. Love to see it. We're going to a map number 3, man.
Yeah, we're going to Favelas for our demolition game number 3. Ruling Pigeon did dominantly defeat them 8-1 in the first demolition, but things can change considering maybe both teams weren't as effectively prepared for Hollows. Favelas, though, a map that's been around for quite some time, as both of these teams look to kind of advance into the next round of our tournament. We've got some really good teams still out there. I mean, High Donkey, Beefy Alligator, Best Snake, Lagger, Right Turtle, Cute Hamsters, all still in this tournament, and very dominant teams that have had players that have come and gone and just made some really spectacular plays week in and week out. But same bands coming through once again, Rome. Glitch. Now, this makes sense because Glitch, to me, is more like a demolition character. I don't really see him in King of the Hill that much, but we will see Glitch being banned out by Axe Black, or excuse me, Ruling Pigeon once again. Meanwhile, on the other side, Axe Black electing to ban out Fixer. So same bans once again for the third straight game. But we're going to Favelas. It is demolition. What does Axe Black need to do to change compared to their first demolition against Ruling Pigeon?
Honestly, if they're going to do the same bands, they just need better execution all around. A lot of times we saw them pushing into toward A site on hollows, and they didn't realize that the Lancers were already pushed up and playing for them. That they need to be more aware. Just need to be better executed and better team play out of them. We saw great stuff in the King of the Hill there. If they're able to maybe carry over that momentum from the King of the Hill into the demolition, we'll be able to see some great team play come out of them, and hopefully a lot closer matchup in this demolition on Favelas.
Yeah, you talked about Intel being key. We did see Intel come out on demolition in hollows from the side of Axe Black. They used the Seeker on attack. They used the Talon Dallas on defense. But still, it was no match. They couldn't find that Lancer. They couldn't isolate out the Lancer or the Kestrel that had those padded stalker combos walking together. They ran those 2-2 splits with the other two defenders being Saint and Vi on that backside, who worked pretty well together as well. They just couldn't find a way to isolate any member and really take control of the site, especially when it's a 2-2 split. If you notice that quickly enough, then maybe you can push into the site very aggressively and take out the two members that are on that side before those two flanks can come through on your back.
Yeah, some kind of adjustment, because like you said, the 2-2 splitting was working great. When they didn't go inner and they all four went outer, the two players that were flanking, all they had to do was come up behind them, go to that inner snake area, and get them off the shield for free. Didn't even need the shredder rounds, just completely got them off the bomb, free shots on them. You just need better coordination. If you can't fully send everyone to one way, you need intel, need eyes on the map, especially going up against a Lancer. You got to have eyes on the map, what I'm saying? Especially on a map like Favelas. If Lancer ends up getting picked on this defensive side, which, we see Lancer pick quite a bit on defense. She is a pocket pick for some players. Some players like to play her simply because of the flanking capabilities. You also have the zip lines. There's 2 zip lines. You can hit a silent one if you're on offense, get behind the defense. You can hit a silent one on defense, get behind the offense. Both work extremely well. Will there be a Lancer pick coming out? Who knows? We do have a Fixer and Glitch band yet again, so I'm guessing that we're going to be seeing Anvil coming out yet again. Last time on Hollows, Anvil was used on both sides. Pretty stapled pick right now in demolition. Easy to get the bomb down, easy to defuse the bomb, especially without a glitch on the map.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Trench being played on Favelas, as well as Scorch. I mean, she's kind of made a resurgence in the Favelas demolition game modes here in the past couple weeks. We don't know why, because it hasn't been successful. I mean, she was like, what, 1-13 the one time you and I watched her on a demolition on Favelas, and that was even with like Cute Hamsters and other notable teams that are really good, and they still couldn't find a way to win with Scorch here on Favelas on that attacking side. But we could see some more chalk, of course. That's something that's been a staple in sort of the attacking meta for a few teams on most of the maps, not just in King of the Hill.
Oh, yeah.
So we take a look at our rogues coming through here. I think Anvil's been banned.
That would be interesting if there was a last-second switch up on what they decided to ban. That would be interesting. We'll see when they lock in right now. We're just waiting on these lock-ins to come through. So once we get these finalizations from both of these teams, we'll see how this is going to go. It looks like Dragonox, Gingivitis, Evap, and Gucci are going to be on the offensive side this time. At least it seems that way. So, let's see what rogues are going to be locking in. Right now we got some dots. A player might have disconnected. That might be what's going on right now. We'll see. Looks like they're all still deciding. No disconnections coming out. Everyone's just making up their mind. Last second, few seconds left. We are going to have the Kestrel, the Chalk, the Dahlia, and the Vi. And only a Dahlia locked in so far out of the side of Axe Black. Few seconds left, and there we go. We're going to have the Lancer, Kestrel, and a Mac. Man, this is interesting. There's no Intel characters on the entire map, Blue. What are your thoughts on this? No Intel characters on Favelas. Is Intel needed on Favelas as much?
Well, I mean, you can have the tracker rounds. Gonna just throw that out there now so that we don't have to really dive too deep into it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, tracker rounds, very, very big. You know, right now on the map, looks like only 2 players have them, you know, the Lancer and the Vi. But, you know, definitely might be able to help out later when these smoke plays come out for these offensive teams. As right now, you know, we got the smoke plays coming out. Maybe the chalk pushes coming out. Will they be pushing out small garage? Will they be pushing out B site? I'm excited to find out. They're on the offensive team side. Now, last time they were on offense, they were extremely aggressive. So let's see if they're going to be as aggressive in this pistol round like they were on Hollows.
No scorch or anything of that nature, so they will have to get aggressive with something like the chalk. Of course, that is still possible. The Dahlia Link will be onto the Kestrel. Bounce Nade trying to sneak that one into the garage door, which has already been open to the site. Mac, though, does have trophies available, did elect to buy them first in the pistol round as well. So we'll kind of stop one piece of util coming through into small, but already Gingivitis taking out Reigns with the drones. That'll allow the offense to start their push as a revive is coming through in small garage. And look at the flank from behind. Exo finds one with the help of Big Gooch, but they couldn't find out the rest. Evap finds yet another one, and just like that, the round is over. I was flashbanged, but Big Gooch and Evap were not, as they take round number 1 here. Ruling Pigeons on the attacking side, looking really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great plays coming out of them. An all-out B push. You know, Exo on the Lancer. He ended up coming up that zip line, coming up behind those players, hitting that zip line the first play, pistol round. I kind of like the play, though, out of him. You know, wasn't able to capitalize and, you know, help his team secure the round, but it definitely was able to help him get some more money in his pocket. Might be able to have padded steps along with that gun in this round. You know, the offense is not typically an offensive-sided map, so able to steal these rounds, like you like to say, win the rounds that you're not supposed to win. It means as many offensive rounds as possible. Right now, this Lancer going to be pushed up into Big Garage, and they know it, and they're going to be pushing her out. Are they going to be able to? Ooh, the sticky lands on the Dahlia. Now in a 1v2, not able to win that. Is the res on the Dahlia going to come through? No, it's not. Now a 2v3. Man, Dragonox, 2v3 on offense. This one's going to be rough.
Yes, Lancer did take out one, but she kind of paid for it with the rest of her life. Still, better trades out as only 2 members stand for the attacking side. Vi Poison's coming out as well. Did soak up a little bit of extra health. Has 10 to be exact, so 110 on the board once she starts to rejuvenate. But Dragonox making a way. Does find some intel. That's some intel right there. Gachette making a play, and he's able to take him out. Oh my goodness, Gachette on the Mac all day so far, even in their round 1 or their game 1 loss, was making some plays on a different character. But his Mac play has really been a keystone for this team in games number 2 and so far here in game number 3. 1-1 now as we head into round number 3. Axe Black starting to make a comeback here and starting to make some nice plays, especially with the Lancer and the Mac.
Yeah, and right there, Mac was really doing a whole lot there. Like you said, that big 1v1 at the small door, that was absolutely massive. And like you said, maybe this is just a comfort pick for him. You know, maybe he's saying, you know what, Mac, we like running Mac. Other teams don't, but we're going to make it work. And I like the stuff coming out of the Mac right now, honestly. You know, 125 health, linked with the Dahlia, able to get that extra HP every time that they're able to get a down, finish somebody off. Right now, slow B push coming out of the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, when Mac first came out, we saw him played by Cute Hamsters on, it was against Lagger on Favelas. They had Trench Anvil and the Mac for a lot of trophy systems being set up, but trophies can't stop bullets, and well, there's a lot coming on that tree right outside the B site. Light bomb was set up as well. That will go off, but nothing will come of it. They did see one member drop towards water, so it could be a rotation. 3v2, the defense still has that advantage. They lost their Lancer, but again, the Lancer going out with a 2-for-1 trade, and an important one onto Dahlia and Kestrel nonetheless. Gachette finds another one. Big Gooch did find a trade with it as well, so it's a 1-for-1. Can they get the revives to come through? Chalk kind of waiting for something to happen, but it's not enough as Killer finishes off that last member. Gachette finding another one to open up that fight once more. Still finding ways to be successful with the Mac, even though the light bomb didn't do any good that time.
Oh yeah, and Exo on the Lancer, able to get another flank up the zip line yet again, and able to take out a player completely. Send him back to the lobby, said see you next round. Great plays coming out of this Lancer on defense. You know, it's all about timing with these zipline plays and these flanks. You know, you can get played for, you know, as long as people are just watching the river, but a lot of times it's hard to do that when you're pushing B. You got to send all 4 people up top, and that gives this Lancer free reign, and looks like the Kestrel going to be playing for the Lancer right now in the courtyard. That's a big 1v1. Right now, the Lancer
Big
trying to creep
1v1.
around her. Yeah, did the Kestrel see her? Yes, she did, and now we got a real 1v1 because neither player's dead. Here we go, and is she going to win it? No, the Kestrel takes her out. Gingivitis, great plays playing for that Lancer. Good stuff coming out of him. That's going to open up this offensive round for them.
Massive pick there as you take out the Lancer very early on in that 1v1. She's the one who's really been setting up the defense for success in these previous 2 rounds, taking out that Dahlia and the Kestrel very quickly. This time around, it didn't work out. Big flashbang there. I believe that might have been the light bomb that came through. And it had to have been. Evap does find Gachette and then finishes him off. Now the attacker's starting to make some plays. Take care of Lancer before she can get a 2-for-1 trade, as Gingivitis trying to plant the bomb, it seems. Gets taken out. Can he win the second gunfight? No, he cannot. Big Gooch popping the rage right in his face and then able to win the fight with some help from behind him.
Oh, yeah.
But Lancer being taken out very early there, she didn't get that 2-for-1 trade that she did the previous 2 rounds. So it's not as effective, and then Gachette goes down. That's the 2 money makers for this squad here. Gachette's been cleaning up some kills while Exo's getting that 2-for-1 at the beginning, and that's what allowed them to take the lead. But now we're tied at 2 apiece here, Rome.
Yeah, 2-2. You know, able to steal 2 rounds already is this squad in ruling Pigeon on this offensive side. You know, you like to talk about stealing the rounds that you shouldn't, but these rounds that they've won on offense, you know, they've looked good. You know, they weren't exactly close last second. You know, they won them convincingly. And right now, on this defense, the Lancer not going to be flanking. Says, you know what, I just got caught out in courtyard. I'm not going to do that again this time. Let me play up here with my team, as this squad has been pushing them out. And now we got a 4v4 push. This one's going to be interesting, Blue.
Big light bomb coming through once again, then walking around the corner. Finds 1, finds 2, finds 3. Gachette! Oh my God, he's looking like a Gillette razor, just slicing through anyone in his way. Gachette, the only one with AX not in his name, but he for sure is carrying Axe Black at the moment. A triple kill after that light bomb. Like I said, Rome, really finding ways to get the light bomb to be effective, something we have not seen since his release.
Oh yeah, big time. You love to see the Mac plays coming out. A lot of people have shied away from him. You know, they prefer a trench with the trophies, or even an anvil with the shield with the trophies. But right now, Gachette on the Mac, making it look pretty good, man. Not gonna lie, making it look like a pretty solid pick for them. I'm gonna be putting this trophy at the backside for when they do push up into that B site like that. Going to be just holding this small control, getting as much info as he can, making sure that trophy's at his feet, that we can't get randomly grenaded by a player. It looks like one player is going to be a little bit behind, so we'll see what happens in this 3v4 situation right now, as Exo is going to be locking down this inner courtyard area on this defensive side. Right now, it's all quiet right now. Very slow plays coming out of Ruling Pigeon.
Yeah, something we haven't seen in this game thus far. I mean, 5 rounds in, no slow pushes such as this. This time around, though, they're looking to go a little bit slower. Doesn't work out for him very early on, as Big Gooch is taken out completely That was EXO, the Lancer, making yet another play. The bomb was also dropped, which means someone's going to have to go and get it. Gingivitis is near. He might be trying to see if he can find the Lancer. EXO, Killer, still playing inside that site. Rain still playing on the back cement wall. Semtex comes through, does find some damage, but not enough. Incen as well. Doesn't have any poisons available. Walking into sight with nothing else to his name. And he ends up going down very quickly here. Evap takes out Gachette in small garage. That's massive because that's someone who's been making some big plays. Meanwhile, speaking of big plays, the other member making them is the Lancer. EXO finds another one. It's just Kestrel alive, but some bad news. We might have had a disconnect here.
Yeah, it looks like, sadly, Gingivitis did disconnect. Hopefully, he'll be back for this next round, as a lot of times players are only gone for one round. So hopefully that will just be a one-round mishap, and he'll be right back. Good to go for this round. We shall see.
If he is gone, he is gone. Yeah, he's off the. If you look at the scoreboard, he's still there. But, you know, in previous times this has happened, we usually go until the half, and then we can reset the game because you get that pistol round in that second half, so you can kind of reset from there. But we're just waiting on word from the tournament admins to see what they want to do. Do we want to wait? Because after this, we do have halftime. If he doesn't connect by the time you're in the plane in the first round of that second half, then we can go ahead and remake, I would believe, since that is some time to see if he can get back in. We are getting word wrong. We will restart at halftime. But let's talk about this last round here because things are happening. Killer takes out Big Gooch as he goes into the site with the Rage Pump, trying to get a bomb planted. Flashbang did come out from him as well. EXO finding another one. Evap did find Killer with the grenade, but it wasn't enough because EXO on that flank finds two members. Even when they knew where he was coming from, he was still able to break through and find success. It's 5-2 on the side of Axe Black, and I believe we will be resetting. So we'll be 5-2 coming into that second half. I mean, what looks really good is the Mac and the Lancer play on this defensive side, or on that defensive side, as they will be swapping to the attacking side in this second half here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is game number 3 of our first matchup here today between Axe Black and Ruling Pigeon. It is tied 1-1 apiece. Ruling Pigeon 8-1 in the first demolition, and then in game number 2, it was 2-1 in favor of Axe Black and that King of the Hill. We are resetting because of a player disconnect, so we are going to be jumping in. It will look like a 0-0 on the scoreboard, but it will actually be a 5-2 in favor of Axe Black. So they only need 3 rounds to win as opposed to 6 for Ruling Pigeon. Rome, what does Ruling Pigeon needs to do on the defensive side here on Favelas?
They need to lock it down. It is that simple. This is a defensive-sided map. The other team, they still need to win 3 rounds on offense. That is still pretty difficult to do if you're able to have solid defensive plays, solid defensive strategies, solid road picks. So, you know, this game could end up going the distance. We'll end up seeing what's going to happen at the very end, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see a very, very close game, as this is a defensive-sided map. You know, 5-2 on defense. It's pretty solid. You know, definitely feeling good going into halftime, but definitely not the time to take your foot off the brake, because if you lose the pistol round and then you're stuck with a pistol for round 2, and then you lose that round, you're looking at a 5-4, and that's anybody's game. So I'm excited.
I am excited as well, but I have a few things pertaining to the bracket, a little bit of an update for you. Round 1, we had a matchup between Takers and Lagger. Lagger ended up losing that round 1 matchup to Takers. Takers, of course, a lineup or a roster with some players that we've seen in the past before. You got Saint TK, Prefires, and Diaz. Most notably, those 3 we've seen numerous times in some of these CMG broadcasts. But they do have a new player named Otter. That's someone we've never seen before. They were 0-1 on CMG completely coming into today's tournament. So finally they're 1-1. But again, that's someone who hasn't played on any CMG Road Company tournaments besides maybe just one of them in the past. But that could also be another game that they played in that's on their record as well. Right Turtle did beat Beefy Alligator, so they will move into those quarterfinals. We also have Fantastic Chicken taking down Team SPK. SPK, another one of those teams that we've seen a few times in these tournaments, just hasn't really made a big splash into those later rounds as of yet. Still learning, still trying to find their way in the competitive scene. So good luck to them. Go back, watch those VODs. Fantastic Chicken once again beating them out and moving on. Hefty Lobster takes out Famous Dog. That's 2 new rosters that we haven't seen before. They'll be going up against Best Snake, who took out Homie Squad. Those are two teams with some rosters full of players that we have seen numerous times as well, and that have done they've had some really good success in the past 2 months. A lot of teams making some big ups. We got Panitas Paneras going up against Cruelty currently, and Nice Mongoose versus High Donkey. High Donkey is that roster with Emit Pain, Nash, Tragedies, and Gippy. I think it's Gippy.
Yeah, Gippy. Yeah.
They added him to the roster as well. He's someone who's starting to make a name for himself out there.
Yeah, Gippy, last month he was teaming on Definitely Not Ready with Heartbreaker's crew, and, he showed out, and a couple of players that are a little bit more established said, hey, Gippy, you know what? Come and run with us this month, man. See how things go. So, it's nice to see Gippy, making a name for himself last month and immediately getting the chance with a top squad this month. And I expect big things out of this squad today, man. Honestly, this squad, High Donkey, the name is definitely interesting, to say the least. But the team
one of those CMG
is even more
auto-generated names, man.
Yes, it could be anything.
Auto-generated names out there, which I guess is the way to go, because the top 2 teams, Cute Hamster and Right Turtle, they win a lot with that. We saw Hefty Cormorant was winning a lot and doing very successfully in the month of June for that 10K as well. So if you have the auto-generated name, you might get blessed with some wins throughout the qualifiers. But let's go back to this game here. It's 5-2. I know it says 0-0 on the scoreboard. We did have a disconnect. Axe Black will be the blue team coming into this. They only need 3 rounds to win. They're on the attacking side. On the defensive side, your red team will be ruling Pigeon. So it does look a little confusing because at the bottom, the colors are different, but that's because that's how they started this matchup. But to kind of streamline things, we're just going to go straight into them being on the attacking side here, which is Axe Black. They only need 3 rounds to win. It's 5-2.
Yeah, and
they have a secret.
And they also have a glitch. Now, I thought the glitch was banned. We did see that we thought that Anvil was banned.
I think it was
really
Anvil.
Quickly.
I think they banned the Anvil instead of the glitch.
Yeah.
So Fixer
I think
Anvil
that's
will
probably
be the
what
bans.
came out. So I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to use the glitch. Right now, glitch can't really be used kind of on the ground, but they were able to get that res on him. So they got themselves a 4v3 right now, glitch back up. He already did use his hack though. So, not able to do that and press up with that, but still able to have the intel of pulling out that pad. But 4v3, you kind of can choose which site you want to push. It's not going to be exactly too difficult to do either one, especially still having the Kestrel ult and the Sigrid with that shield ready to go, and that's probably going to be the play that's going to come out pretty soon. Maybe going to be Sigrid pushing into small, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Sigrid popping that shield, going to be getting shot, but the smoke is going to be able to cover her, and they're going to get complete control of small. Now there is a player at this close corner. Simtex going to be sticking him, but downing his teammate in the process, unfortunately.
I don't think the communication was quite on point between the 2 teammates there, as the glitch did go down to his own Semtex, so he will have to take some time to get on his knee and pick him up once more. But speaking of being on the knee, everyone's in the grave for the rest of ruling Pigeon, as Axe Black take the first round here, but that is actually their 6th. So 6-2 now. Only 2 more rounds to go. This looks like an overwhelming type of composition here. Usually we see these comps come out where it's like, oh, they have a secret. That's pretty much the only difference. And then it's like, oh, they have a glitch. Now it's they have glitch, they have secret, they have Kestrel, they have all of this. And you have to be like, okay, they can hack us, they can flashbang us. Secret can walk at us with a shield in our faces. And then you have Kestrel, who can just throw bounce nades, halo drones, and the Riptide, which still does a good amount of damage to anyone at, even close to far range. And once again, we see a Scorch on Favelas, this time on the defensive side. And Rome, she's 0 for 1 in this game so far.
Yeah, 0 for 1. You know, Scorch was 1 in 13 in the series that we casted a couple weeks ago on this map. Now, it was used on offense in both sides. This time it is going to be on defense, but right now, 1 in 14 for Scorch on the map Favelas that we've been casting it at least. We'll see how that number keeps on going. Yeah, in the past 2 months. Exactly. That's how little Scorch gets played on this map. But sometimes she gets pulled out as a pick, and this might be all she wrote. Already a 4v3 situation, as one player did drop. Now 2 players are going to drop. The Scorch as well, all down to the Saint. Is he going to be able to get this drone off? Doesn't look like it.
Didn't get the drone off. Bomb got planted. Saints all alone. I mean, the SMGs are ringing true. The LMPX from EXO found a kill. Rain with that D40C on Sigurd found another kill. Gachette kind of just held down everything. Got a revive in that as well. Killer, another one that started to put out some damage towards the later side of that round. It's looking really good. They only need one more. It's 7-2. And Axe Black could make the upset against Ruling Pigeon, especially, you know, if you're just joining the chat, whether it's on the Rogue Company channel, hello, we welcome you, as well as the CMG channel. If you're just joining, I mean, this did not look like this was going to be the way this series ended up. If you watched game number 1, it was 8-1 in favor of Ruling Pigeon. But we said Ruling Pigeon took a couple months off, might not know how to play competitively on Hollows, but maybe Axe Black just doesn't know how to competitively play on Hollows. As they back up, they did a lot of damage with that Incend, but on the tree, they have to back up. Shots were coming through under the garage door through sight, so they had to close that and say enough of that. Let's take a breather here. Rain with the Semtex finds Gingivitis. They finish him off. It's a 3v4. Glitch Sigurd still up and still with a lot of their kit remaining. Flashbang still in hand. The Semtex will come out behind cement wall. He doesn't know anyone's not there, just like we don't. And Sigurd walking at someone with the melee, but has her teammates to help her out. Killer gets the last shot onto Dragonox. Big Gooch did find a return fire onto Rain, and the Scorch is all by herself as she's trying to run away. Saint is in the mix somewhere, but finally he's able to get a kill using that Mark IV as well. Bomb has been planted. Sigurd is down. Glitch is now down. Big Gooch starting to make some plays for the defensive team, Ruling Pigeons. But just as I say that, Killer is able to find him near the tree. It's oh my goodness. It was Saint versus Saint. Evap comes out the winner in that one. It's a 1v1. Bomb just under halfway done now. Kestrel versus Saint. It's Killer versus Evap. Evap, the one I would bet the money on, considering, you know, he might not be in the best position. He has to make the play. He has to get aggressive, but he's had a lot more success with a gun in his hands compared. Just as I say that, Killer finds it onto Saint around the tree, knowing that he has to push into him. That is the game, Rome. 8-2 in favor of Axe Black. That means that they reverse sweep. I don't really like saying that in best of threes because it's not as dramatic, you know, when you're like down 2-0 or 3-0 and you come back, right? But they do
100%.
Reverse sweep. They lost game number 1. Now they come back. They win game 2 on Respawn when they were down 1-0 in that as well. And then they win 8-2. Not as dominant as they lost 8-1 on Hollows, but again, they got the job done. And it all started with that Respawn. Rome, when we're looking at these replays from this game, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna look a little funky because we had technically 2 games there. But what happened to Ruling Pigeon? They kind of just fell apart.
Yeah. Fell apart in those last. Honestly, the first round of King of the Hill, they looked great, but ever since that point in this series, they just looked like they didn't exactly know what was going on, especially in that demolition. You know, they pulled out the Scorch. The Scorch went 0-3 in round count right there. So, you know, still not able to capitalize. But right here, this King of the Hill right here, man, this was everything. This first round was absolute domination. They won this round by 70 points. My goodness. And then what a swing to reverse sweep, as you like to call it, in the King of the Hill, coming back from the 1-0, able to tie it up, getting those trades, getting those spawns. Nice Nice grenade out of evap, man. These highlights really show how much of a war these teams were going to. You probably could have clipped any moment in this whole entire map. It was just absolute war at every single hill. And man, that sudden death at the very end is just so impactful. The Lancer EXO able to do so much work.
evap making some massive plays for the side of Ruling Pigeon, despite being the losers on this series. I mean, we came into this saying, you know, we've seen Dragonox, we've seen Gingionitis before. Big Gooch and evap, we've heard of them, but we haven't seen them play. We have no footage of them. Now we do, and evap was the standout player for Ruling Pigeons for me. But if we're looking at Axe Black, this is 4 new players completely. Reigns, Gachette, Killer, Exo. These are 4 players we haven't seen on broadcast. These are 4 players we haven't seen in the CMG tournaments at all. They make a name for themselves here today as they take down Ruling Pigeon 2-1, and they move on into the next round of today's qualifier number 1. And they've made the quarterfinals, so they've guaranteed themselves a spot in the money. We pay out the top 8 teams. There's 8 teams remaining, I believe. So they've put themselves in a position to win some money. Now they're just trying to put themselves in a position to get further in those standings to start off this month's qualifying points and to gain as many points and some extra money as well. But to me, it's all about the points because you want that seeding going into that main event.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time, you know. And now, you know, top 8, like you said, once you get into the top 8, though, you got to start playing some of the best teams in the game. And it looks like they are going to be meeting up with one right now as they're going to be going up against Cute Hamster in the next round. And ladies and gentlemen, Cute Hamster, you know, they are going to be having a roster change for this month. They are going to be bringing Ink back in replace of Highlight. But for today, Highlight is going to be running with them just as a fill. So, you know, they already have the comfortability. But Highlight, you know, he has a little bit of revenge today. You know, I was talking to them, you know, I was asking, why are you guys running with Highlight? You know, even though Highlight knows he's not going to be on there. And Highlight said, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to win today. I'm going to get that $100 for myself. I'm going to be feeling great. We're going to take out Slop, Polza, Emes, and Prosper Logic. They are coming for revenge. So this one right here this week is a little bit personal for Cute Hamster. They're saying, you know what? We're going to be coming with a vengeance, even though that we're going to be having Ink next time. This time with Highlight, we're still going to come back with the same squad that you guys took out just a week ago in the 10K Grand Final, and we're going to beat you with it. So they are extremely motivated to win this one.
Extremely motivated. Well, first, they've got to get through Axe Black, but that will be coming up right after this break. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.